Today, I want to talk about time zones in ediscovery. What time zone should you use for processing? Well, when dealing with new clients to ediscovery, this question comes up often, and sometimes they're looking for guidance as to what is the best practice and what is the best time zone to use. And this is the advice I give to them or to a project manager. If data you're processing has been collected from various time zones all over the world, I recommend standardizing on UTC time zone. Just use that time zone, it'll avoid confusion in the long run. This way all your dates and times are uniform and you're processing everything consistently. Now, if you have data from a specific region, for example from US, it does make sense to pick a time zone within that region. For example, if the company's headquarters is located on the East Coast, it would make sense to process all the data collected from different time zones in the US in the Eastern time zone. And finally, if your data is coming from a specific time zone, for example, Eastern, and your review is going to be happening in the Eastern time zone as well, it definitely makes sense to process everything in the Eastern time zone and not try to standardize it to any other time zone. I know some vendors try to push to process everything in the UTC time zone, but in a situation where all data is coming from one time zone, that just doesn't make sense. Now, another common scenario is to process data based on what time zone data came from. So if you have multiple custodians from different time zones, you would keep track of which custodians' data came from where, and you would assign same time zone in the processing software. This is something I don't recommend because this can get confusing very quickly. Also, you will not be able to create a sort date field to sort all your documents chronologically unless you generate a new field and convert all the dates and times from the appropriate time zones to something that's been standardized, for example, like a GMT or UTC time zone. Then you will be able to create a sort date field and sort all the documents chronologically. Because of that, I don't recommend using multiple time zones in one case. That is my advice when client is asking for time zone recommendation. If you're doing something different, please let me know in the comment section below. I'd like to know what your workflow or what your recommendations are.